I'm Ellen Adams for About.com. And today I'm making green tomato pickles. And they're really simple, so if you've never canned anything, don't be afraid to try it. You're going to need about a gallon of green tomatoes. These are some of mine here. You're going to need a bunch more. And what you do is you just cut them in quarters. And then I'm going to cover them with about a half a teaspoon of salt. Going to draw out the moisture and going to make your pickles more crisp. So you're going to want to cover these and put them in your refrigerator overnight. One important aspect when you're pickling is to make sure your jars are sanitized. It's really simple to do, but it's really important. Now, what you do is you separate your lids from your jar, and you're going to want to put the lids in a pot on your cooktop with some water in, and you're going to want to boil them. That's going to sanitize the lids. Now, the jars, you're going to put them in your canning pot. Put them right in there, all of them, and you're going to want to put the water at least an inch over all of the jars. I've taken our tomatoes out of the fridge. Now, they were in there overnight covered with salt, so I needed to drain them. So that's why they're in this colander. They're all drained. The salt's been washed off. And now the next thing I need to do is put them in our jars. So they're small enough. I probably can get maybe 5 or 6. The next step is to make our pickling brine. And I'm going to start with 1 quart of white vinegar. And I'm just going to put that in my stock pot right on my cooktop. I'm going to turn it on to high. I have 2 quarts of water. I'll put that right in there. And I have half a cup of salt. And you're going to want to bring that to a boil. The next step is to take a clove of garlic, and you're going to want to cut it in half. That'll help release some of the oils. And you're going to put it right down in your jar of tomatoes. Push that down in there. And then I have some fresh dill, and I'm just going to pinch off a couple of sprigs, and I'm going to put that down in our jar. I've got my brine, and it's boiling, so it's very hot, and I've got a nice ladle here, and I'm just going to take up some of that brine, and I'm going to pour it right over the tomato to about a half an inch of the top. There we go. All right, I've got my tomatoes, I got my dill, I have my garlic, and I have my brine in the jar. And the next step is to get them ready for the boiling water. Now remember, you have your 2-part lid. I'm going to put that back together and put the lid right on the top and just hand tighten it, just like that. And you're going to want to put it in your pot. And I've got some water in here, and now I'm going to add enough water to cover the entire all of the lids by a good inch. You really want them submerged in the water. And then I'm going to turn them on and boil them for about 15 minutes. And I'm just using a pair of tongs, drain off some of that water, and then you're just going to want to let them rest on your cutting board until they're cool. In 6 weeks, you'll have some beautiful green tomato pickles. For more recipes like this, check out About.com.